Well, their ability to really bring him along slowly and not rush him back. I mean, there was a long period of time that he was practicing. He bought in and went down and actually played in the D-League. And, you know, I just like that they really were patient with it. And it's still going to be an adjustment, but this team is dangerous.
It's the we like thirst quenching. It's the G League. We like Gatorade. But yes, and look, when you think about the fact that Golden State now can, as they go throughout the season, find different rotations and almost get more creative, right, Smitty? The more, now that they have them on the floor, it's one thing for Steve Kerr and that coaching staff to think about how to implement it. Now they can start trying new things, like tonight, where we saw them working that rotation with that second unit and making sure they had Boogie or KD out with that second unit to help them.
Yeah, it is. And I think for Steve Kerr on the floor, he's doing a fantastic job of trying to find combination. But I think also he gets a chance to pick and choose some of those guys that play heavy minutes, like Draymond Green having rest tonight.
Well, Boogie, a big night. He's ready for his first at Oracle. Right now, after the win, he chats with our own Jared Greenberg. All right, Jared, Boogie, thank you. Ralph says Warriors 11 straight wins since the Houston L, 5-0 to end the trip. Boogie about to have the home debut Thursday. By the way, TNT against Joel Embiid and the Sixers. We get a chance to bring in our own man in the middle of everything. There he is. Hi, Griff.
Hey, guys.
By the way, please tell me you walked around and at least got up and exercised or did something during the break. Have you been sitting in that chair the entire time?
No, I'm me. I ate, guys. That's what I did.
Okay, that's fair enough. Hopefully you saved us some food. It was good eating for everybody with the Warriors tonight. How much of it came from the great work from Boogie, Griff? What'd you notice?
Well, and I think he had a season-high 22 tonight in 25 minutes, and you got to see a little bit of all of it from Boogie tonight. We showed the passing that they've done, but we've got a video here of just Boogie's action in the fourth. He went on quite a run where he had 12 points, and you can see a little bit of what he can give them. In this clip here, you're going to see Boogie drop down into the post, guarded by Sabonis, who gets topside, which opens up a wide-open lane. Eventually, you're going to see him hit Quinn Cook in the corner there. Here we cross-screen Clay and Boogie, which is a ridiculous cross-screen to be able to use. You have to pick your poison defensively. Clay gets a wide-open layup. This is going to be Boogie dropping down into the post. And again, Sabonis gets too high. You just can't do that against Boogie. He'll either finish himself at the rim or he'll hit somebody in the corner for a shot. Here he was able to go right at Boogie, or right at Sabonis for the and one for Boogie. So you can see he's going to get his offense a lot of different ways, but he's also going to create some for others as well.
Well, Griff, and we'll see Griff plenty. There he is. Please get up, walk around between games.
I appreciate it. I may be on the move.
He'll have plenty on. We'll watch Trae Young closely, among other things, in that second game. And, guys, as we kind of put finishing touches on game number one, and it's hard not to focus around Boogie. Candace, how does he make – it's hard to imagine it being easier for the Warriors offensively, right, over the last couple of years. But how does he make it even easier with some of the things that Griff just showed us?
Well, he's a complete player, and those that really doubted his ability to really fit in with this team didn't watch him play before with Sacramento, and when he was healthy even with the Pelicans. I mean, his ability to really pass the basketball last year alongside Anthony Davis was undervalued. Be able to play that transition, get up and down the floor, and that's fun. When you're a post player and you know that you run rim to rim and you're going to touch it and get a good look from your teammates and have the space to create, that's a good feeling to have.
Not as good a feeling, Smitty, who wants the ball but not getting it, because we got to go to break. We're going to studio. He'll be happier when I give him some of my pizza. On the other side, Kristen, D. Fish & Company will take you on Game 1, the night around the association, and more. We'll see you in L.A. soon.
He signs the shoes while they're still on. Is that the easiest way to do it, D-Fish?
It might have been the easiest way to do it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought perhaps taking them off, holding them with one hand, signing them with the other.
That's probably longer.
I think, though, now that Steph knows he's not going to be on Shaqtin' a Fool, he doesn't have to worry about if he trips over his own feet. It won't matter. But look at that. A young fan. Oh, she's brought to tears. Now I'm going to cry. She cries. Now I'm going to cry. Oh,
That's great.
Love it.
That's great.
Love it. Look how excited she is. What a cool thing. Welcome back into our NBA TV studios. Kristen Ledlow here, the 5-time NBA champion, Derek Fisher as well. as the Sparks head coach, Derek Fisher.
Hopefully more championships to come.
Yeah, exactly. Did you hear Candace talk a little bit about that during the game? Like, oh,
Well,
wait, you heard her.
I heard the inter-game wagers.
They were talking about wagers during games, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, my head coach
I'll
is
just block that part
in
out.
the studio
Yes,
right now. We
we'll
probably
see.
need to nip that in the bud. We watched yet another decisive Warriors victory. They've now won a season-best 11 in a row. They're going for a third championship in a row. So we could talk about what makes them great, but let's talk a little bit more about what DeMarcus Cousins is bringing to this lineup. As you were watching him, what is it that impresses you most about what he's bringing to this offense?
Well, I think the different levels that he's impacting the game. Big body, able to set screens, but then as he catches defenders at the wrong angles trying to cover him, that's when he starts to present problems. So if we can, let's set this up. We got our resident Klay Thompson out here, Shane, over here getting ready to come off this little pin down. The ball's at the top. And Boogie Cousins with his size. When he comes, he sets pin downs, sets screens, shooters coming off like Steph and Klay, force the defenders to get on the high side of Boogie to try and prevent them from curling, getting the easy layups. So as soon as Boogie feels Sabonis, TJ Lee, anybody that was on his high side, he's turning, sealing, catching these guys on his upper shoulder here, and he catches and he can turn and finish so easily. So that's the first way that he was really impacting the game tonight. Now we can go to the other side. We'll go with a post entry. Now Boogie's on the post, he catches it. Griff talked a lot about this little squeeze action that the guard set. So now he has it, forces the defense to now take a look at him. These guys start cutting off each other, and he's such a great and willing passer. And so when you talk about him being able to efficiently score on the block, being a willing passer, we saw him make a 3 early in the game. That's just really impossible to cover the Warriors, but it all starts with a willingness. You don't just put great players on the floor and they just go out and play great. The culture, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, what they've built from scratch, it makes it easier to plug Boogie in, but he's showing a willingness that everybody really was not sure he'd be showing right away.
It's so easy to fall in love with him statistically, his scoring ability, his ability to crash the boards, but he's also playing now at a faster pace than he ever has throughout his career, much faster than he was in Sacramento, in New Orleans. And not only is he doing that, he's having to come back from an injury and do that. Are you surprised by not just his willingness to fit into this offense, but how well he's fit in this early on?
I am surprised, in particular for a big player.
Right.
Coming off of a lower extremity injury, sometimes it's difficult to emulate how much activity is required to move that big body up and down the floor, being engaged on the defensive end, also setting screens, moving around the floor on the offensive end. But it's been impressive. I think their ability to keep his minutes short allows him to play a faster pace than he's accustomed to playing. He can build his conditioning up over time. It was great when they have separation like they did tonight.
Right.
It allows Steve Kerr to actually put him back in the fourth quarter, start to get those minutes up from 16 to 20, 22 a night, and build his conditioning base up. By the time they get to the postseason, he's going to be able to play some longer minutes.
And let him facilitate that offense some, too. That's what's so impressive is you watch him wave off his guards and facilitate the offense in transition.
Yes. All 5 players now with the Warriors being able to rebound, initiate the transition offense. All of a sudden, your center is pushing it up the floor. You have the greatest shooters in the game running ahead with the wings, and it's hard to stop.
Really discouraging for the other 29 teams. But just days ago, Steve Kerr became the fastest head coach to ever win 300 games. I mean, goodness. Let's hear what he had to say after this, well, now 11th win in a row.
Unbelievable trip. Just a really good way to finish it, too, with everybody playing, everybody contributing, leading from start to finish. And I was a little worried about this game. Just, everybody's anxious to get home. But we finished off the trip the right way, and it's great to see.
When was the last time you've been on your team this focused, on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis?
I don't know if we ever have, actually, including tonight. But no, I'm just kidding. We've been more dialed in the last month than we have for sure all season, and for much of last season even. You can just see, that the turnovers are down. We're just more conscientious as a group, and guys are moving the ball. 39 assists tonight. So, we're in a good groove. We're in a good place, but got to keep it going.
What do you guys have in law? Something about Steph's picking his spots that is just you've noticed this year that you like more that's led to his incredible efficiency numbers?
No, he's just honestly he's just being himself. I've been watching this for 5 years. He's got this skill set that you can't really fathom. The step back three at the end of the first half. I'm sure somebody's already done exactly how far it was. I don't know. Anybody know exactly? There it goes, 33-footer, like it's nothing, and it doesn't matter. Time, score. He's always one shot away from being on fire. And when you've got Steph and Kevin in that mode of being aggressive and attacking, obviously it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent.
What progress did you see tonight with DeMarcus together in the third quarter?
I just thought he got a lot of work done inside tonight. He scored more hoops around the bucket than he probably has combined over the first 4 games. So some of that was game plan. We wanted to run a couple sets to try to get him the ball in there, to get him used to that. And some of it was just, I think, him feeling more comfortable with his conditioning and his game.
Is that kind of your ideal fit?
When Game Night Monday returns, the biggest news in basketball, at least thus far this season. Anthony Davis wants out. We'll discuss it after the break. All-NBA forward Anthony Davis has informed the New Orleans Pelicans that he won't sign a contract extension and he wants to be traded. He is eligible for a 5-year Supermax extension this summer worth $240 million, and he'll become a free agent in the summer of 2020. KD's agent Rich Paul has said he wants to be traded to a team that gives him a chance to win consistently, a chance to compete for a championship. Hey everybody, welcome into our NBA TV studios. It's game night. I'm Kristen Ledlow. He's Derek Fisher. We're going to be joined by, can we call it an all-star ensemble cast?
Yes, we can.
I think we can. In our humble opinion, it is. And for the next 8 weeks, right? Yeah, 8
weeks.
Every single Monday, right here on NBA TV, we're going to be on the court, in the film room, calling the games. But right now, the biggest news in basketball is where Anthony Davis lands. And how soon could this trade potentially happen?
Yeah, this is definitely the news of the year so far.
Yeah.
LeBron was the news of the summer. We thought Jimmy Butler maybe would be the big news, but Anthony Davis has taken over with this request. And, how soon it happens, the Pelicans really are in the driver's seat as far as that goes. I know there's a lot of fuss over the Lakers and the tampering and the Pelicans with wanting to have an investigation, but they're in the driver's seat. And what deal they're willing to accept for this caliber of player, we'll see.
Right. Explain that to me then. If you have the power, you have the player.
Correct.
He doesn't play for the Lakers. You can trade him for anything, anywhere, correct?
That is correct.
Just clearing it up. Just wanted to clear it up. So in 7 seasons with the Pelicans, Davis has averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds. He's been named an All-Star 5 times and to the All-NBA First Team 3 times. And in his playoff appearances in 2015 and 18, somehow, D-Fish, he's been even better. This a guy who simply needs to be in an organization surrounded by other players he can win with?
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you look at his resume, what he has accomplished, what he does on a nightly basis. The points, of course, jump off the board, his ability to shoot the basketball, but his rebounding and his shot blocking, having been the NBA leader 3 different times in terms of shot blocking. To me, that's really what makes him different than almost any other player in the league right now. Purely dominant on both ends of the floor. And whoever does end up with him is going to be very fortunate to
whoever, wherever, whenever, we'll see. It's game night on NBA TV. We're probably going to say it a whole lot of times because we've got a doubleheader starting with the Warriors in Indiana to take on the Pacers, followed by the Hawks in LA to play the Clippers. So before we get you guys to that game, we want to check in with the Warriors. They're talking about the state of the season and their ultimate goal of winning 3 in a row. I think, to say the least, right? Tip-off in Indiana between the Warriors and Pacers is minutes away, followed by the second of our doubleheader between the Hawks and Clippers just after 10:30 Eastern. We'll be with you all night long. This is a team that not only wins 10 in a row, but they're looking to win 3 championships in a row. D-Fish, can anybody stop them?
The short answer is no.
Yeah.
When you are operating and have operated at the level that they have, the only team that can stop them is them.
Well,
so we'll see if that actually
we're
happens.
going to be back with a whole lot more of this. But for now, as promised, more of our all-star ensemble cast. Ready to call the game, Casey Stern, Candace Parker, Steve Smith. Take it away.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Welcome inside what we are calling the NBA TV Lounge. We are here for Game Night Monday. We're very, very excited. Ro Parrish is going to join us later on. He'll be at our resident bar.
I like that.
Serving only
I like
Shirley
that.
Temples, so it's fine. But having information from social media, you guys will get involved during the show. Also, in the film room, our resident GM, David Griffin, is there. We're going to take you inside, give you all sorts of different, not only analysis, but give you an opportunity to see things a different way. As I've got my crew every Monday night, Smitty, and my NCAA partner, Candace Parker. The Pacers have not seen things the same way the last couple of days, obviously, because now Vic is out for the season. Candace, when you look at this team, how do you internally in that room try your best to move forward and not let it kind of hamper you as you go?
Well, the Indiana Pacers, they've been without Victor Oladipo earlier in the season for 11 games. And during that stretch, they were 7-4. So they've played without him in the past, but where they're really going to miss him is in the closing minutes. I mean, he was really their offensive person where they could throw the ball to him and just go get a bucket. So it's really going to be more of a combined effort, blue-collar work, obviously on the defensive end, pick up the pace a little bit. But I'd like to see them feature Miles Turner. He's shooting outstanding from beyond the arc, shooting nearly 50% in the last 22 games. And I'd really like to see them feature Miles Turner more and get him in the offense early.
Yeah, I don't want to make Smitty feel old, but we'll talk a lot about Sabonis tonight because he's been one of the more improved players in the league. Boogie, we knew that he would at some point come into the team. What have you seen so far, Smitty? And I know we're not going to get Draymond tonight. He's resting, so it's not full throttle. What have you seen so far with Boogie?
Well, I'm looking at this Super Friends team. They just threw in another action hero, and this action hero is doing what the Golden State do. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can score. And what I love about him, he's a little nasty down there. Now they have somebody else to go with Draymond Green, and you look at their assist numbers, it's going way up. For me, is the only thing about the Warriors, you got to nitpick. If they can complete their turnovers and keep them down and also try to generate more turnovers, they're going to be hard to beat.
All right, we're hard to beat because we got our own resident Will Hunting. There he is. David Griffin, who's hooking us up with knowledge beyond what we see and you see at home. So, Griff, take us through kind of Boogie and what you've seen so far in the numbers.
So I think, like Steve said, obviously there's a potential for this to be special offensively. And we've seen several situations where it has been, and certainly the numbers bear that out. But what's more interesting to me has been the impact he's had on their defense. And I think this surprised people a little bit. You see how much more defensively oriented they are when Boogie's on the floor. The numbers when he's on the floor versus off the floor, they're revealed. And you're going to see very similar numbers in other categories as well. This is where you really see the biggest impact. It's that their closeout urgency is significantly greater now with Boogie present. You're seeing them have a far greater impact as closeout defenders. So the number on the left is the effectiveness of the offense against a Kevin Durant closeout since Boogie was there. The number on the right was what they were doing before Boogie got there. So the offenses were infinitely more productive against the closeouts of all 4 of the big stars prior to Boogie's arrival, and everything has changed because of their effort level, and we have some film built around that here as well.
Griff, we'll have plenty from you as the night wears on. Thank you, Second Spectrum, with the information. As we look at
this video
what we got
here shows exactly what we were talking about relative to closeout urgency. Watch how little urgency there is defensively when this ball gets swung to the wing. Smitty, you'd make that shot right now today. That green area means open shot. That's a made shot in the NBA. And because of Second Spectrum, we have the ability to actually identify what would be a red area as well. There's not going to be any red area here. Pick anybody that should have rotated to that prior to Boogie's arrival, and they just didn't play with that level of urgency. What you see here now, though, it's all different. Everybody is very much engaged, everybody's going to lock up and be in a much more aware situation. All 5 defenders for Golden State at some point will be in the red zone here. They will all be closing and all charging after shots. This is something totally different for Golden State at this point.
Would you have made that shot, Smitty?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't have to go up and down.
I'm just making sure because I mean he was giving you the credit. I know Candace could.
Shoot or shoot, no matter
Hey,
what.
Shooter's Paradise, 3D Lifestyle brand. This on game night sets us up for possible number 11, Boogie and Company, trying to continue a streak. The Pacers trying to stay in the playoff hunt.